Well, here's a saying that we hear a lot in the motivational realm is burn the boats. I think it was originally said by Tony Robbins. And of course, Gary Vee, he jumps on the bandwagon and tries to expand on it a little bit like he's original with it. But, you know, I don't know about this one. So the people that are telling you this story, I don't know if anybody's ever heard the story. So the best way to take the island is to burn the boats, because if you have no way to get off the island, it's crazy the amount of effort that you'll give if it's a life or death situation. So they're saying basically put yourself in a life or death situation to obtain wealth. I just can't get my head around that. Now, every single one of these people that say that don't even live by that idea. That's not the way to do it. So here's a little secret for you. And this is a secret that you can go check if you want to go check. And it doesn't matter if it is a Tony Robbins or a Gary Vee or the next person that said it or the lady that says it. I mean, she just repeats everything everybody else says. Diversify your wealth to make more wealth. If you have a full-time job and you make $40,000, kudos to you, right? So you make your $40,000, and then you have your side thing. Like some people do Uber as a side thing, just to kind of get the idea of what self-employment looks like. You know, is it something for me? Some people do DoorDash. Is it something that I want to do? I think Shipt is something that's new right now. And people that are doing this are like, they make like $15 an hour, but they're not understanding and grasping the idea of you're not making $15 an hour because gas, money's got to be set aside for your car. So they're about the immediate gratification. That's why those things are great to get your idea of what it is. You have oil changes for your car, tires for your car, and all these things you have to figure out. But it's the best thing to do is when you have a side hustle, as they call it, or things like that. You try one of these things out where it's easy. You're just driving. It's mindless. I have another buddy that does his landscaping business. And in the morning before his landscaping business, he works in a factory. He works 4 hours in the factory, and then he does his landscaping for 10 hours. And then during the wintertime, he just has the thing in the factory. And he has his own business, yet he works for somebody else. And it's something that works. He has his two things. He's very successful, by the way. He has this very successful landscaping business. He makes $500,000, just to throw a number out there, just so you know. So why is he working for why is he working for somebody else? Because the somebody else he works for full time before he started his business, and then he has a retirement with him. He has this, he has that. So he has a whole bunch of stuff. And some people would say that's a waste of time, but he doesn't think it's a waste of time. Now, I know other people that are like really wealthy. Forget about the business making a $500,000. I know people that make like themselves more money like that, $500,000 to $1 million. And what do? They're all salary if they work for somebody. That's one thing. But they also have investments in real estate, investments in, I know one guy. There we go. I know one guy. He's a city council member for whatever reason. He has his investments in the stock market, which do amazing. And he did all this by levying a real estate business. And in his real estate business, he just rents apartments out to he just has Section 8, actually. That's what he does, the whole thing. And I think, if I remember correctly, he has over 2,000 rentals, and God knows how much money he makes. It's ridiculous. And what does he do? He starts up a jewelry business. He does this because there's other things that you could be doing with your time. He understands that, yes, this may be my main money maker. There's one thing, but I can do things over here, because this is what they all learned. And this is what I learned, and this is what everybody else learned that has any head on their shoulders. You can't invest everything all in one thing, all in one job. We're seeing it right now. Big companies like Johnson & Johnson, right around the corner from me, lays off 1,000 employees at one location. I think Ford laid off 10,000, employees. There was another one in the Midwest, six buildings with delivery drivers and all these subcontractors just got wiped out. I mean, they just wiped it out, closed it up, put a fence around it, done. We're done. The economy's starting to slide. You need to be in more than one place, and don't ever rely on something, just one thing, especially if it's your own thing. You have no security blanket. You know why most people work for other people? Because there's something called unemployment. Why most people work for other people? Because there's something called disability if you get hurt. Those are things you don't have when you're self-employed, you start your own business. So the message of burning the boats is a message that I absolutely am against. And that is exactly why I'm against it. Most of you want to start your own business, and that's why you listen to motivational videos. Please talk to somebody. Don't just up and quit your job because you hate your job. Yeah, you hate your job. Your job pays your bills. And just like my buddy that loves landscaping, he hates his job at that factory. Hates it, loathes it. It is a big billion-dollar corporation. It's not going anywhere. So he is going to keep that. Because if he gets hurt while he's landscaping, guess what? They get to pay him. If he gets hurt, they get to take care of him. If he get unemployment, what else? Disability. So he has his pension. He's not going to get rid of that. He has his medical benefits. He's not going to get rid of that. So these are the things that, unless you have millions to invest, and even the people that have millions to invest, that's like, so the one lady, right? She's like, oh, we started a restaurant, right? I always love this one. I started a restaurant. We were $800,000 in debt by the time we had the second restaurant. Like, what do we do? How do you get $800,000 in debt? Why? Because you throw caution to the wind? No, because you have that much money. That's how you get that much in debt. She said something to the effect of, oh, that was all our equity on our mortgage. What? You had that much equity in your house? How much was your house worth? Because if you had $800,000 just in equity, your house had to be worth a whole lot of money. Oh, I took a risk with money we already had. My husband's money. Money that my parents gave me. That's now I'm a motivational speaker. I failed at everything. I'm a motivational speaker. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. What the Lord? So yeah, I'm throwing back a little bit. And it's another lady that does the boats. I wish I knew her name. I don't pay that much attention. I just kind of coming up on feeds now. And that's just mind-boggling to me. But then again, we're listening to people that are given a lot, and that's where these messages are just, verbal diarrhea, I call it. They hear it, they re-say it, so it's another person re-saying a message that just doesn't make much sense. So there's your message from me. Don't burn the boats. Don't do it. That's just, you want to go all into something, that's great. Go all into something, but you need to have other things that money is coming from. You have, at the least amount, 2 sources of income. That's what I've always had, is 2 sources of income. That's why households work. 2 sources of income. Husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, 2 sources of income. They have everything. Imagine if you had a girl, 2 sources of income. You had a boy, 2 sources of income. That's 4 sources. You would be able to generate wealth in about 15 years that it takes most people to generate in 40. Those are just little things when you really start grasping that, because you're going to introduce a third and you're going to introduce a fourth, because you're going to have things like the stock market, or you're going to have a rental property because you moved out of your house and you realize they're not making any more land. I mean, this is all we got. Might as well keep this one, rent it out, and go get the one of my dreams, So stay frosty. Really listen to this. And I'm all about homework and self-discipline. So just think back and think of 2 things that you're excellent at, and just hammer down on the one thing you definitely want to do that makes you happy. I was outside today for 4 hours. I couldn't have been happier, And then take the other thing that you're good at that doesn't make you happy but makes you money. That's what you do, and you'll be wealthy. Trust me, you will be wealthy.